So I ran across this clip. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people aren't agreeing with it. Coach Stephanie White mentioning that Caitlin Clark might be playing off ball, which is kind of a shocker to everyone. We're going to play it for those who haven't heard it, and then I'm going to give you guys my take on it.
Your audience. So do you have, I've seen your teams before. I know how they play, but you're also a very good coach where I think you also can change your fundamentals for like the roster itself. So like, do you want these guys to play a certain style or a certain way?
Well, I think our players play fast naturally. You know, when you look at what Indiana did a year ago, they were tops in the league in pace. They were tops in the league in offense. We want to continue to build on that. We want to continue to build on that. We want to make sure that, you know, we have more options to share the ball, make it more difficult to guard our big three. You know, I think Aaliyah Boston had probably more space last year than she's had, you know, in her career. And I think she'll have even more this year. Kelsey Mitchell, same, you know, one-on-one to be able to get downhill, to be able to play in the two-man. You know, Caitlin, who led the league in assists, set a ton of assist records as well as, you know, some scoring records and three-point shooting records. But now she's got more options. And so we want to be versatile. We want to be more versatile. Anybody can bring the ball up the floor. Anybody can initiate offense. Anybody can run off ball stuff. Everybody's got to be ready for our first and second action. So we got to be patient enough to get to the third and fourth action. You know, I think where we can improve is our ability to score off of cuts with this roster. You know, our teams in the past, particularly in Connecticut, because we had, you know, a really great point forward in Alyssa Thomas. In the past, we played in a lot of two-man action. I think we can use a lot of off-ball screening action with the lineup that we have right now. I think we can force mismatches and look to attack mismatches a little bit more. We've got a high IQ team. You know, I think we can get to the third and fourth side and get a great shot. You know, I think we can continue to play fast. Certainly, we want to do that. But the biggest challenge for this group, is we've got to go from where we were in 11th or 12th in the defensive end of the floor. We got to get to middle of the pack. You know, that's going to be because there are going to be days where our shots aren't falling. There are going to be days where we're not as great offensively. There are really good defensive teams and players in our league that are going to make us uncomfortable. So we've got to get to the middle of the pack on the defensive end of the floor.
Let me give you my take now that we heard the clip, right? So Coach Stephanie White mentioning that, you know, this lineup is going to be very versatile, regardless of what, you know, anybody thinks. She's the coach here. She's going to try to make this lineup as versatile as possible, it sounds like, right? So with that being said, a lot of people are like, wow, Caitlin Clark's going to be coming off ball. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say she's going to be looking to have Caitlin Clark score is what it sounds like. She did mention, you know, Caitlin Clark, yes, she did she had some record-breaking assists, but she also had some scoring records and three-point records as well. Sounds like she might try to really unlock Caitlin Clark's full scoring potential with having Caitlin Clark always dealing with the offense and worrying about bringing up the ball and worrying about facilitating. How about we make you our number one option when it comes to scoring the basketball? I mean, that would be my take on it, you know, and who knows? I would see Kelsey Mitchell being the only real player to bring the ball up the court. You know, DeWanna Bonner, those girls, like, they could all dribble up the court if we're being honest. But now, if you get into an action where, okay, you're running Natasha at the middle, because I'm trying to think about how the Sun ran it. The Sun AT either always brought the ball up sometimes, or she was running on the free throw line and kind of facilitating. And that's why they're so dangerous. They, you know, they're playing a lot of screens, cuts, back doors, a lot of, you know, wide open shots and things like that from the corner. I'm just trying to think, like, yeah. So with me, I'm thinking, okay, you have a Natasha Howard, you have an Aaliyah Boston she's talking about. How are we going to get all of this involved? How are we going to get everyone involved? Especially Caitlin Clark. Now, if you want Caitlin Clark to be the point guard and the sole facilitator, that's going to be completely different. And if we're talking about fast pace and getting out in transition, nobody's going to be better than Caitlin Clark doing that, right? So I'm thinking we're not going to have Caitlin Clark put all her efforts and energy into that. Instead, we're going to have her cutting backdoor and shooting threes and trying to unlock her scoring capability. So I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. That's the only thing I could think of. Besides that, and I know defensively, that's one thing Coach is going to work on. Coach Steph is going to work on defense with this team. So, and that's what's going to win a championship right there. Offense, look, I don't see this team having any problem with the offense. I don't think essentially. I think the ball it will be in Caitlin Clark's hands 70% of the time, but I really feel like Coach White is going to try to unlock Caitlin Clark's scoring capability. Because I'm going to tell you something. Coach Stephanie White has been in that gym with Caitlin Clark. She's seen Caitlin Clark shooting these basketballs. She's seen how good Caitlin Clark can score the ball. Yes, she can facilitate, but I don't think you guys understand. Caitlin Clark could score the damn basketball. She could shoot the basketball. So I think Coach White might be looking for spot-up opportunities, things like that for Caitlin Clark. And I think she played a little bit off ball at Iowa as well, coming off some screens and stuff like that, being able to get a good look from the three, and that could be very dangerous. Now, if Caitlin Clark starts knocking down 7-8 threes a game, holy shit. That's all I can say about that. And I'm just really trying to think what else. The only thing I think is that Coach White has seen Caitlin Clark is a sharp shooter. She can finish. She can finish at the rack. She could any drill we're giving her. I saw the workout clip. She's going crazy. And I really think she's gonna have Caitlin Clark shooting a lot of threes this year. That, in my opinion, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not saying let's try to change Caitlin Clark's game at all. No, I'm not saying that. But I think Coach Stephanie White realizes how good and how much potential Caitlin Clark has to be an elite scorer. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark she could probably lead this team in scoring if she really, like, if you put her in the position to. Caitlin Clark could lead this team in scoring. Easily. I'm not saying that's what her game is, but Coach Stephanie White, remember, she watched her at Iowa. She watched her. She had a game plan versus Caitlin Clark. I don't think what she's saying is bad, is, what you guys are saying. Christy Size 2.0. I don't think so. You got to really look and see what's going on. If I had a girl like Caitlin Clark, yes, you're great at facilitating. Yes, you're great at getting your team going. Yes, we're gonna still do that. We're still gonna run in transition depending on the lineup. But there's gonna be times where, hey, I need you to go score, Caitlin. Yes, you came in the league, you did your thing, you still scored the ball. But hey, 19 average? No, you could easily average 27 in this league. I believe I'm watching you do it in front of my face right here every day we train. I'm gonna unlock that part of Caitlin. That's the only thing else. That's the only thing I can think of. Besides that, I don't know what else it could be. So you guys let me know. I'm not gonna dive too much more into it. We just have to wait and see. But that's the only thing I can see. Let me know what you think. I'm out.